Angel Reese has 8-word message for America day after election. Angel Reese is speaking out the day after the 2024 presidential election. Donald Trump topped Kamala Harris in relatively easy fashion. The election was called just after midnight. Trump is set to serve for a second term after losing the 2020 election to Joe Biden. He'll return to office in January 2025, with Ohio's J.D. Vance as his vice president. The New York native likely has big plans on his mind, especially when it comes to the Supreme Court, where he could be in line to put multiple right-leaning judges on the court. Reese, the former LSU Tigers and Maryland Terrapins hoop star, who plays in the WNBA for the Chicago Sky, weighed in on the election results with an 8-word message for America. Reese, who rarely fails to speak out on social media, took to social media on Wednesday. "As a woman, I'm heartbroken for us all," she wrote. Reese is one of millions of women bothered by the results on Tuesday night. No matter who you support, it's tough to argue against the idea that the United States is just not ready to elect a female president. The Chicago Sky rookie forward, who averaged 13 points and 13 rebounds per game in 2024, is praying for the best. "God is the best author and the best finisher. I'm just going to pray on this and think positive," she added. Reese is currently enjoying her off-season, getting ready to play in the new unrivaled 3-on-3 league, which will feature some of the WNBA's best players. Games will begin in Florida in January. WNBA star Angel Reese hammered by female Trump supporters after saying she's heartbroken over election. Donald Trump's female supporters did not accept Reese's plea to their emotions in a statement following the Republican victory. Democrats have continued to lose the conversation, with women coming out in even the sports world to reject messages from athletes like Angel Reese. Despite saying in August that she wasn't following the presidential campaigns, Reese put out a simple statement the morning after Donald Trump became the 47th president. "As a woman, I'm heartbroken for us all," Reese decried on her X account. At the same time, Reese shared a picture of Vice President Kamala Harris on her Instagram, which had a caption, "Thank you, Kamala Harris, we are proud of you." However, female readers were not supportive of Reese's emotional plea and flooded her replies with disagreements. "Smart women know to vote beyond identity politics," a woman named Angie quickly replied. Another reader replied, "What's a woman?" implying that the Democratic position on gender politics is that a woman cannot be simply defined. "Imagine believing all the lies about Trump." Wow, a Trump supporter with America First in her profile also stated. Another X user even went as far as to say, "Keep your legs closed." Simple, inferring that Reese was taking issue with abortion rights, which are not under President Trump's control. However, Reese revealing her political leanings, albeit somewhat covertly, is a change from her typical responses to questions about Harris in the months leading up to the election. During previous media availability periods, Reese parried questions about supporting the Democratic candidate. For example, when reporter Brandon Robinson caught up with Reese on the court, he directly asked the athlete for her thoughts on the vice president. "Kamala Harris is a woman, and she's doing her thing. Running for president," the reporter began. "Have you had a chance to watch her? What are your thoughts on her running for political office?" At the time, Reese's response was refreshingly normal, telling the reporter she didn't feel educated enough to comment on the race. "I haven't been able to tap a lot into the political election, so I'm not that educated right now, but I just continue to learn," Reese replied. Instead, the Chicago Sky player suggested, "Everybody go out there and vote. I commend that, and I just tell a lot of people to go out there and vote because we need it for this election," Reese added. The overwhelming volume of negative quotes and replies to Reese seemed to signal that female voters prefer to focus on issues that are affecting their lives. Responses relating to men in women's locker rooms appear alongside disgruntled basketball fans and Christians in what has become a cross-section of Americans focused on political, economical, and social issues rather than gender or racial politics. Like Blaze News, bypass the censors, sign up for our newsletters, and get stories like this direct to your inbox. Sign up here. Keeping Angel Reese relevant against Caitlin Clark. analyst highlights key to prolonged rivalry amid rising WNBA talent. When a generational talent comes into the limelight, what makes them great? Is it their individual talent that propels them into stardom? Or is it a player of equal or almost equal talent challenging them to be better? The constant push and pull certainly helps. In the case of Caitlin Clark, fans perceive her arch-nemesis to be fellow WNBA star Angel Reese. But one analyst asks, what would the scenario be like if they played at different times? Sirat Sohi on The Ringer's WNBA show talks to Van Lathan about this rivalry. While she respects it and even makes a Magic Johnson-Larry Bird comparison, Sohi points out, it is such a disservice to Angel Reese that every conversation around her is in comparison to Caitlin Clark. Because now you have this elite rebounder, this elite defensive player. Chicago were incredible defensively every time she was on the court, who has a ton of potential in her own right. Indeed, with the league's leader in rebounds per game of 13.1 with 13.2 pick, Reese did wonders for the Sky. Her dog mentality in the paint was something that gave her opponents a chill as she kept fighting for the ball. Adding the third overall pick, Camila Cardoso, only helped the Windy City franchise become one of the most touted teams in the league for their work on the glass. They even had the fourth best second chance points per game, 11.2, and third best record for points in the paint per game, 40.3, in the WNBA. Indeed, a lot to do with how Reese fought in the restricted area.